Fans and artists like Suson or Philip exist in a complicated space. As a silent follower of OPM, I'm genuinely happy seeing Filipino artists flourish, but even from a distance, the toxicity in fandoms is hard to ignore. Many people don't even realize they've crossed the line. They believe they're just protecting their idols or just telling the truth, when in reality, they're already being harmful. I understand why fans can be so emotional. Artists inspire them, they give them hope and comfort during difficult times. From that perspective, the attachment makes sense. But this attachment becomes dangerous when it turns into parasocial relationships, when fans start loving not the artist, but an image of the artist that exists only in their minds. Let's face it, we follow artists because something about them draws us in. Perhaps it's the talent, looks, charisma, personality, life story, etc. These elements form a picture that fans fall in love with. Which brings us to Ken Suson, or as a solo artist known as Philip. Recently, he's been getting waves of negative reactions, mostly over his fashion choices. If new fans or casual observers react negatively, even though I don't agree with it, I would still consider it as acceptable because they don't know him well. But when longtime fans or people who followed him over the years suddenly attack his character, that's where parasocial expectations show themselves. Because if you've followed an artist for a long time, you may not know him completely, but at least you have a sense of his character. You've seen how he treats his supporters, how he expresses himself through his music, what values appear repeatedly in his work. So, why do some people suddenly judge his personality based on his fashion choices? This isn't the first time it happened before. He shared a positive clip about Otani and his wife before, and some people twisted it. He also shared a quote by a personality who was very open with his political views, and then people twisted that too. Now, with his fashion, it's happening again. It's not simply, I don't like the outfit. It becomes he's changed, he's questionable, he's problematic, as if clothes determine his morals, as if individuality is a crime. The truth is, many fans love an idea of an artist, not the artist himself. They fall in love with a version that makes them comfortable, the wholesome, cute, or gentle side they prefer. And when the real person shows other sides, growth, creativity, experimentation, fans panic because it disrupts the illusion. They don't want their illusion challenged. They don't want the artist to evolve. They want them to stay exactly as they imagined. But artists are human. They're allowed to grow, to change, to experiment, as long as they're not doing anything harmful. If they're not hurting people, not doing drugs, not engaging in abusive behavior, then they should be free to express themselves however they choose. People often forget that an artist is not just one thing. The same man who sang the tender, heartwarming Kanako and the aching vulnerability of Ache is the same person, the same Philip who wrote Complex and the entire Seven Scenes project. These are not contradictions, they are facets of one human soul. At his core, I believe Philip Johnson is someone who understands both light and darkness, the gentle love in Kanako, the quiet longing in Ache. Those songs reveal his softness, his capacity to care deeply, his instinct to cherish, to appreciate, to show gratitude, and to love. But the raw intensity of Complex and the dark theme and depth of Seven Sins show another truth. He is also someone who is aware of his shadows, someone who isn't afraid to confront the temptations, insecurities, and flaws that every human deals with. What people often miss is that exploring darkness doesn't mean being consumed by it. Sometimes it means recognizing it, understanding it, and choosing to rise above it. Art becomes a mirror, one he uses to look at himself honestly. And when you listen closely, his story doesn't end in corruption or chaos. It ends in redemption. That alone says something profound. He knows who he is. He knows what he stands for. He understands the battles inside him, and he chooses the path that aligns with the person he wants to be. Many fans cling to one version of him, the soft, wholesome, gentle image, because it fits their comfort zone. But Philip is not just the purity they fell in love with. Nor is he just a bold, fearless persona in his darker tracks. He is both. He contains multitudes. And that's the thing about real humans. We are contradictions. We are kindness and complexity, tenderness and fire, vulnerability and strength. Philip embraces all of these in his art, and that honesty, that wholesomeness, is what makes him compelling. So when people react negatively to his growth, his fashion, his experimentation, it shows how tightly they hold on to the illusion they created. But an artist cannot shrink himself just to fit into the box fans made for their comfort. He's allowed to evolve. He's allowed to express every corner of his humanity. Philip isn't losing himself, he's revealing more of himself. And if people choose to see only one side, that says more about their limitations than his. So, when fans attack artists simply because they changed their appearance or explored a different side of themselves, it shows that what they loved was never the real person, it was the illusion. If an artist's evolution no longer resonates with you, it's totally okay to step back quietly. Just don't punish them for growing. Don't imprison them in a version of themselves they never promised to maintain. Maybe support them or move on, but don't destroy them for being human.